Okay, so we're going to be doing a helpful video to help you on phase shift, because phase shift can be pretty tough. And we did number 1 and number 2 and number 3 in class. So we're going to take a look at number 4, problem number 4 next. Right? And then after we do that, we're excited to do what? After our 4th period class, you guys. 3, 2, 1, we're going to go on
Spring break!
Woo! Spring break! Yeah, immortalized you. Anybody want to shout out their name? Go ahead.
Kayla.
Yeah. Woo! Anybody want to be immortalized? No, I'll shout out your name. Go ahead. Just raise your hand. Yeah, Samantha. Austin, we'll take that as a hand raised. Anybody else want to be immortalized forever? Woo, Taylor. Okay, here we go, you guys. So we're going to go to problem number 4, and as well as problem number 5. There we go. Around the circle it goes. Okay, so first we're going to give you guys some extra credit while we're doing this video. So what do you guys think for problem number 4? What's the amplitude? Yeah, say it again. -1. Riley, agree or disagree? Oh, Riley agrees? Oh, good. Max is shouting, said no.
No.
Good. What is it, Max?
1.
A positive 1, right? Because the amplitude is what?
Always positive.
Is always positive. So don't forget, you guys, the amplitude is always positive. Amplitude is always positive. Then you'll notice on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that our midline is always what? Good, Riley? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's from Mario Brothers. So our midline is always 0 on, well, not always, but definitely in these problems, because really phase shift is tough to do. And if you have to shift up and down as well as left and right, it gets a little tricky. So why don't we make it easier on you and just do midline of 0. Okay, what about our period for number 4, you guys? Our period, what do you think? Good, because it's 2 pi over the b value is the formula, right? And what is our b value? 1/2. It's the number next to x. That's our b value. And so 2 pi over 1/2. And then you have to keep, change, flip. So division becomes multiplication. And then we flip it 2 over 1, and we get 4 pi. Good. So our period is 4 pi. And then what do you think our phase shift is? What do you think, Austin? What do you think, Taylor? Do you remember how the phase shift works, or where you find that in the equation? Do you remember? It's just to the right of x. It's just to the right of x. Yeah, pi over 2. And we're also going to change the sign. Thank you.
Yep.
We're also going to change the sign. So sign change. Write that down. Write it down. Sign change. So we're going to change the sign. And so that means that the phase shift is not positive pi over 2, but it's negative pi over 2. That's our phase shift, guys. It's our phase shift. So now that we have all the parts to it, now we're going to graph it. And so the tricky part is we have to use the mommy, daddy, what? The parent function. And so we're going to use our parent function. And so let's see, what's our parent function? What do you think? Well, we have a negative. We have a cosine. Amplitude is 1. Amplitude is 1. Let's see, our midline is 0, and we already, so we have our period already. Oh yeah, what was our period? 4 pi. So do you remember how many dots we do? How many dots do we do, everybody? 5. 5 dots. So we're going from 0 to 4 pi, and that's our period. And then we take that period and we cut it in half. So what's half? What's half of 4 pi? It's a 2 pi. And then half of 2 pi is 1 pi. So 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi. Good. So there's our period down. Now we're just going to focus on our parent function. And so with our parent function, we go -1 cosine of x plus 0. And so, ooh, what are the 5 numbers of cosine? Do you remember the 5 numbers of cosine? Who remembers? numbers. Yeah, go Max.
1, 0, -1, 0, 1.
So 1, 0, -1, 0, 1. And if we have an amplitude of 1, but the equation is negative, how would that change our 5 numbers, do you think? What do you do with the amplitude again? You take it and times it. So when we go ahead, you guys, and we times it by a -1, times it, times it, times it. So it's going to be the exact same, except for it's going to change the sign. So 1 times -1 is -1, and then 0, and then +1, because negative times a negative is a positive. And then -1, nope, 0, 0. And then 1 times -1 is -1. So we're going to do this in dots. Starting at 1, we're going to go, oh, no, that's wrong, people. We are going to label your y-axis, label your x-axis. And so let's take a look. So where do we start off at? We start off at -1. So that's here. Then the next dot, I have the 5 dots. The second dot is 0. So we go to 0 next. And then up to 1. Back to 0. And then down to -1. And then can somebody tell me why I'm doing dots and not like a smooth, nice line? Ooh, because we're going to shift it now. That's just the parent function. You have to draw the parent function, and then you can show the shift. It'll help you, because now we can just shift it to the left or the right. So what do you think, Duncan? What do you think, Bradley, Max? What are we going to shift it to? What's our phase shift? -pi/2 is right, but how many squares is that? What do you think, Riley? 2 squares, 1 square? Well, let's count. From 0 to 1 pi is 1 square, right? Because our period was 4 pi. Half of 4 pi is 2 pi. Half of 2 pi is 1 pi. And so if 1 pi is equal to a distance of about 1 square on our graph, then what's pi over 2? What's 1 pi over 2? Half a square, Riley, isn't that weird? So it's half a square. The reason why is because if we go further into it, ready? We take a distance from 0 to 1 pi there, 1 pi, and we half it. And so if we go ahead and half that sucker, we get 1 pi over 2, and that's half a square. Stupid. So 4 was kind of tough. That's why we're doing this video, because 4 is pretty tough. So again, we're going to write down below. That we're going to shift S-H-I-F-T. So we're going to go ahead and shift half a square, you guys. What the heck? So we're going to shift half a square. Shift half a square. That's crazy. Shift half a square. Okay, that's okay. We got this. Don't worry. We got this. We got this. Okay. So again, here's our dots. We're going from here up to here. Good. So now you're going to take each one of those. Okay, you want to know how to match it on canvas? Can I share with you the secret? So to match it on canvas, share with you the secrets. You start at 0 and you go your distance. What's our distance again? Half a square. So that's just -½ because we went from 0 and we went left to half a square. And so then we're going to go, and then 4. We go all the way to 4, and now we're going to do 4 and go back. We're going to go 4 and we're going to go back half a square. Okay, well, how do we find that? Well, that's 4 pi minus half a square. So what's 4 minus a half? What do you think? Is that 3½ ? Yeah. Can we convert that to like a mixed fraction? Ooh. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7, so we get 7/2. So 7 pi over 2 is what we're looking for. So we are looking for from -1/2 all the way on the graph to 7/2. 7 pi over 2, which is almost 8 pi over 2, it's almost 4 pi. Okay, so that's our key, you guys, is to know the x values. The key is to know the x values of our shift. Right? Our x values, shift is the key. So now we go onto Canvas and we input our answers that we found and we try to find our matching graph. So we go to Canvas next, here we go. Whoa, bullet ant, super painful, number one painful that we know of. Number one painful experience, right? Number one painful experience. Okay, so this was question number what? Question number 4. And so question number 4, you're gonna have to input your answers into Canvas. And so we input a 1 or a +1. And then our midline, of course, was 0. But how did we get the 4 pi? And so I actually had to highlight, try it again. Why won't it do it? There it is. I actually had to copy, you guys have to copy the pi symbol. And then you have to go ahead and paste the pi symbol. And that's how you can go ahead and get 4 pi, but only do 1 pi. 4 pi. So there's our 4 pi. And then for the phase shift, what did we get? Negative paste pi divided by 2. And so those are our answers for number 4. You're going to input all your answers from 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to look through the multiple choice options to find the matching graph. So can you guys remember what we're looking for? What are we looking for again with our graph? From what to what? It was 0 to 4 pi, but then we shifted to the left a half. So what was our new little range there? 3.5 pi. 3.5 pi, good. What were we going to say? 5, closer. That's the next problem, I think. Let me double check. Should we double check? Let's double check. Okay, so we were going from 0 to 4 pi. That was our period. That was our original period. But then we shifted to the left a half, and we shifted to the left half a square. Do you see now? Say now. Negative pi over 2 to what? To what? To 7 pi over 2, right? That was weird. How do we get 7 pi over 2? Well, 4 pi minus a half gives us 3.5. And 3.5 is the same as 7 pi over 2. This was a harder one, that's why we did the video on it. Okay, here we go. So can we find it? You guys tell me which letter it is. Is it that one? Is it A? That looks more like number 2. Doesn't it look like more number 2, cosine shifted down 1? Shift to the left. I think that's probably number 2 is A. Woo! What about B? No? What do you guys think? No? What do you guys think? Is that not it? Ooh, it is upside down. Did we ever finish it? Wow, Newbold. Wow, making a video and you didn't even finish it. What the whoop? Okay, let's finish it. Sorry, guys. So didn't we shift? We were supposed to shift. So that was our original one. That's the dotted one. And then we shift to the left, put a dot. Shift to the left about halfway, put a dot at half, 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 half. And so there's our half. That just looks sick and wrong. So there's our half a graph. Half a graph. Half a graph. So we're going to the left, and we're just going to the left. We're just going to the left half a pi right now. Just half a pi to the left. Do you see now? No? So half. And so it's negative pi over 2, and 7 pi over 2 is what we're looking for. And that is, in fact, B. Woo! Negative pi over 2 to 7 pi over 2. That was a tough one. Woo! Everybody say have a good spring break. 3, 2, 1. I say have a good spring break. 3, 2, 1.
Have a good spring break.
And then say yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Immortalized you. Here we go. Stop recording.